Hello everyone, this video will cover Module 2. So Module 2 is the introduction of our first essay assignment. You will be doing a rhetorical analysis of an article. And so this module is all about critical reading and thinking and rhetorical analysis and how that will apply to the first essay assignment. So we have a couple of things that you'll be working on, some kind of basic stuff, which is our readings. And our readings cover chapter 3 and chapter 13. So 3 is basically the chapter about reading and reading more effectively and reading more critically and more deeply. So that follows, we did chapter 1 and 2 in the previous module, and then chapter 13 is more, it's kind of an overview of the writing process, so from ideas to the finished product, and that chapter is one that will apply to all of the major essays that we write, but it's here in the beginning as a little bit of an overview. Some of it should be review from Comp 1, and then some of it will probably be just new ways of thinking about it. So once you've done those 2 readings, then you're going to do the readings quiz. It's Module 2 readings quiz, but it's also including the 2 chapters from Module 1. So you have 4 chapters total that will be in the quiz, and that is the first 2 chapters from the Module 1 readings, and then the 2 chapters from the Module 2 readings are the topics for the quiz. And quizzes in this class, as with other quizzes, you can take it as many times as you want to, but that does pull from a pool. So when you retake the quiz, you'll probably see some new questions each time. Once you've done all of that, then you can move on and do the rhetorical reading practice. This comes from chapter 3, and there is a section in chapter 3 on Friedrich Douglass's learning to read and write. And so that's on page 40. So when you open up the textbook, remember that you can navigate with that little box at the bottom and just click on where you want to go. And so this is Friedrich Douglass's essay. It's an excerpt from his longer work. And so once you are done, and I did link the longer work here. It's part of his autobiography, and I linked the video. It's just a audio version. If you'd rather listen to it, it's not really long, but you can listen to it if you want to. And then I put the time marker there for you if you want to listen. The whole thing is much longer, but his little excerpt article, if you will, you can listen to if you want to. Then when you're done reading, you're going to answer the questions at the bottom. So down here at the bottom are the 6 questions, and the questions are related to the rhetorical situation, which is all about reading rhetorically and rhetorical analysis. And so when we talk about rhetoric, we're talking about how the author uses language in order to persuade the audience. And there are many different factors when we're discussing a rhetorical situation. So it would be like why the author is doing this writing, what the purpose is behind it, who the author is, what are some of their credibility markers, why are they trustworthy, and then also the message itself. How does the author use logos, ethos, pathos, all of those things to try to connect with the audience. So all of that's in the chapter, and you should be able to answer the questions after you have read through the chapter and have a good understanding of it. I also have this page here. If anyone's still confused about rhetorical analysis or being able to really focus on the situation that the author's in when they are writing, you can use these resources. I have one video, and then there are a couple of links here that might be able to help you. This is an entire website from the OER Commons, if that helps. And then there's a PDF that's a little bit shorter. But that is mostly there for students who are just kind of lost with the textbook. Sometimes the textbook itself is not enough. That leads us into the rhetorical essay criteria. And basically this essay is a response to or analysis of one of the articles in the textbook. So when you get into the textbook, you'll notice that as you're looking through the chapters, there are example essays. And one of the best places to look is actually in part 5 here. Part 5, we get a bunch of different chapters on different topics. So this one's food and culture and the cultural experience of taste. And so there are a couple of different articles in here. Margaret Mead's The Changing Significance of Food. I can't read the rest of it. Food, Overnourished and Undernourished in America. And so you get the title page, and then the next page is the actual article itself. So any of these articles, and there are other articles earlier in some of the other chapters, but these are the easiest ones to find. So like Learning to Read and Write by Frederick Douglass, that would also be an example of one of the articles that you could use. You can see it's not that long. It's a couple of paragraphs. There's some questions at the end that might help you out a little bit. But your essay is going to be to take one of these articles and analyze it. So you're going to identify the author and the title of the work. You're going to break down the author's strategy. You're going to move through, what was their situation? What was their motivation? What's their technique? What do you see them using? You see them addressing opposing viewpoints or using evidence and sources. How do they appeal to the audience? Do they use ethos, logos, pathos? It's more of a critical response than a personal response. You can include some personal, critical feedback on it, but the majority of the essay, the purpose of the essay is really how well did the author put together his or her argument. It is not an argument for or against the topic. It has nothing to do with the topic. So if it were me, I personally would not pick an article that I feel really strongly about the topic itself, because that's going to make it harder for me to remain a little more objective. Instead, I would pick an article where I really notice the strategy that the author is using, and I can comment on whether or not I feel that made for a more effective essay. So maybe the author does not address any opposing viewpoints. So that might be an issue, and that's something that I could comment on as well, that it would have been better if he or she had. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind. You're not commenting on the topic itself. It does not matter your opinion on the topic itself. It's about the author's strategies. We're analyzing the rhetorical situation. So the essay itself is just about the one article. You don't have any sources that you're using. You will have one works cited page with just the article as your source. And so it makes the documentation much more simple. Those of you who have not used documentation in an essay before, we'll get kind of a brief introduction to it, because I'll be providing plenty of examples. And then you can use I pronouns because it could be a little bit about, you could do a little bit of a personal response if you want. Mostly it's going to be third person, so the author, and then he or she or they, and that's the type of pronouns you're going to use. You're not going to use you, which would be referring to the reader. It's also a fairly short essay, so 1.5 to 2 pages. Most students get their introduction, like 2 body paragraphs maybe, and then a conclusion. So it may not even be a full 3 paragraph or 3 body paragraphs, 5 paragraph essay. So you can just kind of keep in mind it's supposed to be pretty short. We're not looking for a lengthy essay. So in order to prepare for it, you have this assignment here, which is to create an outline of your essay. Once you've chosen your article, you'll write out your outline. You submit that. This helps me to give you feedback on your plan, as well as redirect you if you've chosen something from the book that is not appropriate for this assignment, so it's not an article to use, then I can help redirect you. So just kind of basic, and then I have an example as just a basic outline that you'll be doing for this assignment. This will be the essay that you write in the next module. So you're not writing the essay yet, we're just preparing for it. And that will happen for most of our modules. We'll have more than one for each essay assignment. So if you have any questions at all, feel free to send me an email. Otherwise, have a great week.